Let's now tell you that every year on October 11, the global community observes the International Day of Girl Child 2023, and the day aims to focus on the importance of girls' education, their rights, and promoting gender equality. The day urges global communities to make changes that could empower girls. Women are breaking boundaries, barriers, and stereotypes, but many continue to suffer in silence. From maternal health care to parenting support for adolescent mothers to digital and life skill training, comprehensive sexuality education, and violence prevention programs. There is an urgent need for increased attention and resourcing for girls to enable their rights. And this afternoon, I'm being joined by Nnedinso Ogaziechi, a girl child advocate, and she will be sharing more lights and talking to us as regards this. Thank you so much for joining us, Nnedinso.
Thank you.
Now,
Happy
to
to be
commemorate
here.
the International Day for the Girl Child, what are the common challenges that the girl child faces in Nigeria?
Uh, the challenges are multidimensional. They stem from culture to religion to societal perception, and it starts from the cradle to the grave, actually, because we notice from even from conception, some couples go for scans to identify the gender of the child, and from then the attitude of either the father or the mother or both changes the moment they determine that they are going to have a girl child. Then the girl child is born. In most communities, there are different songs for the boy child and different songs for the girl child. In most cases, more value is given to the boy child. So from then, the discrimination starts. So it's actually from conception. Most times we assume it is when the child is born. So when the child is born, the way the child is raised, you can notice in some communities, I think most communities in Nigeria, Africa, the chores in the house, cleaning, cooking, doing this and that, they are all left for the girl child. And there's an exclusion, in this case, a negative exclusion of the male child in doing those chores, which actually should be skills that each child should be equipped with for a lifetime of existence. So that is how it starts. Then in some communities, you notice most girls are not allowed to go to school. You have sections where you have child marriages. And when these things occur, what happens? The development of the girl child is stunted. Because how does a child give birth to a child? But the bad thing in all this is that we don't realize the long-term impact of those things. When a child gives birth to a child, apparently you wouldn't know what to do or how to raise the child. And what do we have? We can see it for ourselves, the social effects of dysfunctional families because a child can't raise a child. So it goes on and on and on. And culturally and even in religious circles, you see the discrimination. A girl is not supposed to do this. A woman is not supposed to do this, or you're not supposed to be seen, or you're supposed to be seen but not heard, or a cocktail of problems really for the girl child. So the advocacy which I'm interested in, is not really much about the girl child, but for the society to begin to value each child as a child, because we might now get into a problem where you have more emphasis on the girl child and nobody is raising the boy child. And that could be a problem.
Of course, we know that these sociocultural and religious stereotypes are endemic, not only in Nigeria, but cuts across continents. And you've talked about one of the things that can be done. But then let's look at it in terms of how stringent it is being practiced in different countries, looking at their religious background and their culture and their tradition and what they believe in. How do we begin to nip it in the bud, challenging it from these angles?
Yes, it might not be easy because I mean the fight has been years and decades and almost centuries in coming about validating the girl child. So I know it happens in all continents, to be honest. So it's just the degree that differs. So how do we do that? Still more advocacy, for. So we need to have more advocacy from families, from governments, and changes in policies that would lay more emphasis on validating the girl child and making sure that these things are, especially in democracies where laws can be made to protect the girl child. But actually, you still have laws, but they are not implemented, especially in developing countries where the democracy is still shaky to some extent. There are laws, there are UN treaties and acts that try to protect the girl child. But are these laws implemented? Are there punitive measures for those who disobey or anything like that? So these are the things we have to begin to do. More advocacy, especially from the men. I mean, now it's like the women are seen as always whining about girl child. But if the men, because I know for instance that in families where the men are more integrated in the raising of their girl children, things are not always the same. So we have to begin to re-educate the society to begin to put value on every child. When you put value on every child, then it would simmer away, so to say.
So, invariably, are you saying that with advocacy, education, and of course, interventions by government, that can help deal with the issue of gender inclusion? Because that is also a major issue in the society where the girl child is not given enough recourse or opportunity to access basic interventions and opportunities as the male child does. So do you think that that could also help in dealing with gender or enhancing gender inclusion when it comes to government policies, processes within society, and discourse?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, the order in society where you have from the family to the villages to the communities to the states and to the nation, there are degrees of leadership, and this leadership, if they are well informed and convinced about the value we are talking about, then things will change. So when you have the leadership that is interested and understands the value, because as it is, everybody knows what is happening, but what actions are being taken. And in most cases, when there's no serious interventions from leaderships, and leaderships could be at the community level, it could be at the religious level, it could be at the national level, then nothing gets to be done. So, but we want a coordinated attempt from all strata of society, from the family up to the national level. If these things are said, look, we have to do this. And when we look at the fact that most countries where the girl child is less empowered, they are almost always down the ladder of development. So what do? We have to ask our questions. What is happening? This is the 21st century. Why are things still the way they are? That's the point.
Nnedinso, Ogaziechi, thank you so much for talking to us on the news.